Hi, this is Bonnie from TLC Inspirations, and today I'm going to talk to you about stabilizers. There are four different types of stabilizers. There's a tearaway, a cutaway, a washaway, and a heataway. And we're going to talk about three of them today. I didn't get any heataway, so we're going to talk about the other three. The first one is going to be tearaway, and these are non-fusible stabilizers. So we're going to use a temporary adhesive spray that I'm going to spray onto my fabric on the back side of where my design is going to be. So we'll give it a little spray. You don't need much. You want enough to secure your stabilizer. And so now I'm going to place my stabilizer on the back side of my fabric where my embroidery design is going to go. I'm going to smooth it out, make sure it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to place it in my hoop. I want to make sure it's in there nice and snug and smooth and lined up. Tearaways are used on natural fibers and tightly woven fibers such as cotton. Some people will use multiple layers of stabilizer if they want added strength, and so it's just a matter, you really have to match your stabilizers up with your fabric and your fabric weight. The general rule is the lighter the fabric, the lighter the support. You would think it would be the other way around, but it's not. Okay, we have our design here, and we're going to take it out of the hoop, and we're going to remove our tearaway stabilizer. Generally going to kind of loosen it up all around the design here, and it will just tear off around the design. And then within the design, you're just going to want to kind of pick and pull the stabilizer out. Keep in mind, the more intricate your design, the harder this is going to be, so you will end up with some of your stabilizer left on the back if your design is too intricate. Most of it pulls out pretty easily. Sometimes you may have to get the tweezers to help you out a bit, but in this design it all came out pretty clean. So you can see our little puppy is kind of cleaned up on both sides, and it will be removed pretty easily. It depends on how much you want to go back in and pick and pull all the little pieces out. Next we're going to show you how to do a lightweight knit with a cutaway, also lightweight, non-fusible. I used the temporary adhesive again to adhere this to my fabric. And now we're going to hoop it. Again, making sure that we have all of our wrinkles out, and when you're hooping, you want to make sure that it has a slight drum effect when you tap it. That will tell you that it's taut enough. And now we're ready to do our design and remove it from the hoop. You can see we have our design here. And on the back side we have our cutaway. Again, we're going to loosen it up all around the design, and then we're going to begin to cut it away. So you'll want to hold your stabilizer in one hand and cut it away about 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch all around the design, just kind of generally around the design. Be careful not to cut your fabric, because then you'll be in trouble. So we just continue to cut around. Again, your cutaways are the best for knits and t-shirts, and they're soft against the skin. Now you can always go back and clean up the edges if you want a cleaner cut around your design. I just cut a basic shape around my design, and this will remain on the back side of your fabric. So you're going to want to make sure that you use a soft one. Now let's move on to water-soluble stabilizers. You will find water solubles in a plastic-like film or a paper type, also in different weights. Water solubles are used for lace work or fine fabrics. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just doing it on cotton, and I adhered it the same way with the temporary adhesive. Also, you saw me put my roll back into its container. It's important to keep water-soluble stabilizers in an airtight or protective packing because it will dry out over time. Okay, so now we have our stabilizer in our hoop, and we want to make sure our hoop is secure. If it's not, you'll want to loosen your screw, and you can go back and gently move your fabric and move your stabilizer to make sure you've got all your little wrinkles or crinkles out of there, but don't get too aggressive. You don't want to stretch your fabric or your stabilizer, and then once you have it all smooth, you can tighten it back up again. And then we're ready to put our design on this. A lot of times water-soluble stabilizer is also used on top of a fabric, and for fabrics that have a heavy density, it will keep the stitches from sinking. Okay, now we're going to remove the stabilizer, and we're going to do it the same way that we did the cutaway. You're going to cut all the way around the design, leaving just enough stabilizer that's on your design. And then once that's done, you've got a little bit of stabilizer all around your design. And I'm going to take this over to my sink and run some warm water on it and gently scrub it with my fingers, removing all of the water-soluble stabilizer. I also use a little fine fingernail brush to remove the remnants that are caught in the threads. So there's our 3 stabilizers, and I hope it has helped you sort out the stabilizer issue. For more information, visit our website. You'll see it on the screen. And thank you so much for watching.